All right, follow along with me. Now I'm going to try and explain to you. This is part of the other story, okay? So I'm going to try and explain to you how this, whatever this is, works. Okay, so I'm going to draw two pillars, right? So here's one in red, here's one in blue. Okay? Now, there's a sine wave that's going in between these. A sine wave is half of a circle. Okay, which is a cycle. A complete circle is a cycle. So you'll see like MasterCard, that's two cycles. So if we were to draw it, it starts out green. Okay, so here it starts out green because the power starts out green because it's full power. Then it diminishes to yellow. Then it diminishes to blue. Then it diminishes to red. Then all of this disappears, right? So if we were to look at, this is a complete circle. It's 360 right here, right? At this point, it goes around 360 degrees. Here's another one. Not perfect circles, but it's best I could do. So this gives us a figure 8. That's a sign for infinity, okay? So if I erase some of these things, now I've got half a circle. Now I've got this is a sine wave. That's what's snaking in between here. Okay? As it goes up through the pillars, the power is diminished. Okay? And of course, we have to have the cube here. So this is what this is. Okay? So when we think of 365, right? So we'll just put this here. Hope we got room for it. Now let me put it over here. 365. Okay, right here. 365. That's really equals 360 slash 5, because the fifth cycle, in other words, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth cycle, the field collapses. Well, let me do this. Let me just... It collapses. So this one's dead. Only these 4 are active. Okay? This is electricity. And so what happens is we can see this when we look at this specific logo. Just bear with me. All this is going to tie in a minute. Now, this is going back to that story. Here I've been seeing this yellow and black constantly for the last, or yellow and blue for the last couple days. Okay? This is all part of that other story. That's how weird this shit is. These rings from the Olympics, okay, are what I just showed you over here. It's the power grid going up through the it's the way this thing works. And so they're in control of it. So they're always constantly worshiping it. Okay? From that other story. Okay? No one took it upon them or took the initiative and said, hey, we got a problem here. This car has been here 4 months and years. Nobody says it's been here for months and years. Nobody says that. What they're saying is it's been there for 4 months and 4 years. A year is 365 or 360 and 5, which is this going through the cycles. And then the 4 months, that would be, let's see, 430, that would be, so that'd be 12, that's 3. Okay, I found this tracing that woman's email because I found out what it is. That goes to some really bizarre shit, to a thing called, hang on, let me get it. This shit gets weirder and this thing, the Internet Archive Wayback Machine, the Golden Joint. It's black and gold. That's the return to the golden age of Saturn. The Internet Archive Wayback Machine, that's a time machine. Okay, hang on, I'm not done. When I ran her email that got me to that thing, I had to go through this thing a bunch of times. And it says, look at it, it says 504 gateway time out. 5 and 4 is 9, and the gateway time out. So if we go back to this, here, this over here, it goes through the 5th cycle, the 365, or the 360 and 5, the 5th cycle. It times out. It diminishes. The whole field, this whole thing collapses, and it starts over. You see it written as the seal of Saturn. If you put a bunch of those X's together, you'll get a magnetic field in between this pole and this pole. And it's discharging. If there was this one here, this thing wouldn't collapse. This power would go right straight up and out. It's the same thing as the rainbow. It's the arc. But what they're doing here is, because this is collapsing, they're trying to go from this side to this side. Okay? Now let me show you something real quick. One, 3, 6, 9, 0. You see that? Or maybe the numbers are too small. Okay? This is the fields. It's 1, 3, 6, 9, and it goes back to 0. In other words, it's trying to get this thing to work correctly. Every time it gets almost where this is a straight line, where it's about to work, it fails and it goes back to 0. So these are just stages, 1, 3, 6, 9, 0. I'm probably got your head all fucked up trying to explain this. That's what this is. This is tied into what that thing is doing with that story about that woman. I'm telling you, this is insanity, this shit. I mean, I'm trying to explain this the best I can, because you're talking about entities, you're talking about electricity, you're talking about power, and I don't mean like, well, power in a demonic realm, power in an electrical sense, power on an atomic sense, hidden codes. This stuff is fucking whacked. So what this picture is showing here is, on the 5th cycle, it's not going back to green. It's going to yellow. It's not going green. It's going to yellow. So it's skipping this phase. So it appears to me somebody's jerking around with this thing. Okay, I know this is very hard to understand. It's bizarre enough to try and explain it, but I get it. So, just bear with me. I mean, I'm trying to make heads or tails of this, and I see it. It's just hard to put it into words for people that can't or understand what I'm trying to say. It's very difficult. Just hang in there. I'll try and narrow it down for you.